mean, this is where I think nature will come in, and that's what death does.
Right.
Like, if we're going to die, there's two ways to do something. It's to evolve with it, or there's to allow nature to do itself, because organically we are always evolving, we're always moving, and it just may be very slow if we don't consciously choose to do that, which is like soul development or personal development, whatever you want to call it. If we just doing the same thing daily in and out, we'll be unhappy, we'll be depressed, or we'll numb ourselves.
Yeah.
Because there's the urge to grow, and to grow doesn't mean, right, I've got to keep developing in the sense of I need to learn this or I need to do that. It's like, no, you can do that. Grow your consciousness, grow how long you're aware for. Maybe I was aware for 10 seconds. I'm going to do that 5 times a day. Maybe next week you do it 10 times a day for 7 seconds. Whatever, it's growth of consciousness, growth of awareness seems to be the understanding of how the universe will come to know itself. You know, going through those different animal states of what snakes can see, or what eagles, and then into a human who's so incredibly adaptable and has all these. I mean, the brain is the most complex, amazing thing that we have. You know, that's better than any computer, and we haven't figured that out. And it's part of what we are, and all the emotions and anything that we can do, the fact that we create the technology that we have, we can go to other planets, we can go to other planets, you know, and these things that we just be in awe of, yet you can just sit and be yourself and be in awe of everything because you're alive. Like, just to be alive is astounding. Like, and if we can tap to that level, every day's great, you know. Every day's, don't get me wrong, we still have the bad times and the hiccups and whatnot, but that's because we've become unconscious and we forgot, holy shit, I can breathe and I can get out of bed and I can taste this, and we get stuck in then becoming mundane and then chasing more pleasures because we're not actually appreciative of the fact that you're alive. You know, we need Maslow's hierarchy of needs to get us into a place where I've got my security, I've got my food, then you can climb those spiritual ladders a hell of a lot easier because you're not worrying about, I've got to get my food, I can't sit and ponder the majesty of life when my belly's hungry, you know. It's that kind of outlook. But if we can tap into that, which it's just a wonderful place to be, like, you can realize God then in the essence of everything, or divinity in everything, because it's unbelievable that it exists, you know, that things like love exist, or great emotions, or me using sounds to try and get something across that I'm passionate or moved by. Like, wow, anything is possible. And this is where we remove the rules again of this is right, that's wrong, you should be this person, you should be that person, all that nonsense. When you drop it all, drop the words, drop the descriptions, and you're just alive, how can you have, you know, a dislike that thing, but there's no attachment. How can you have massive hate for stuff when you know it's part of what you are, which is alive, it's part of in your field of consciousness? That's enough for me, and I love that. And so much of life comes through that understanding for me, and that is just my understanding. Again, it's not factual for anyone else, it doesn't have to be, but that's where I am, and that keeps me moving forward and keeps me looking to drop more personality, because dropping the personality is where we access, I think, the unconscious and the divinity inside us, because no longer does it have this wall, these brick walls in front that say, no, life has to be like this, or you can't talk to me like this, or I really want to go and do that, or I won't be happy. It's like, get rid of those walls, and behind it is what we all are. Consciousness is life, experiencing life.
What you said is, there's a Sanskrit word for it, it's called Leela. Yeah, so it's basically translated as pastimes. So the universe experiencing itself and realizing that, oh, I am the universe. So whatever experience you have in life is usually through adversity or extreme levels of blissfulness where you experience, oh, I am alive, you know, when you appreciate where you are. So the universe experiencing itself, to understand that the ultimate game the universe plays is that it's hide and seek almost. So when you see a baby and you play peekaboo, you know, as soon as you view yourself, the child is really happy, and as soon as you cover yourself up, the child's face just becomes very mute. And that's the universe playing hide and seek, to realize that actually, oh, I'm not this, I'm beyond this, and being happy about that. So you can take joy in adversity as well. And this probably sounds insane for most of our viewers, but in situations where things are not falling into place, I think it's those situations, understand that's when the most amount of growth will happen. It'll never happen in any situation where you're having the most fun or whatever, when you're having the most amount of pleasure. It usually happens through adversity. So to appreciate what's happening in those moments and realize that all this will do will make me a better person. This had to happen. So last week on Thursday or Friday it was actually, I broke down, I was stuck on the M60, couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to go climbing in this new place in Warrington, couldn't go, let my friend down, was sat there, and I just thought, what can I do in this moment in time? And I just watched that podcast with Joe Rogan and Raghunath, and I was just like, yeah, it's just it's something I can't control, and now I've just got to accept the situation. And yeah, I think when you have that sort of, and obviously that's not a massive adverse thing compared to death and etc., what most people are experiencing, but adversity is still adversity. You still feel down, and you feel down when other things will happen as well, things that are greater. But then it's again your perception on what that will do. So immediately now I stop myself and say, oh, it's adversity, but I'm addressing it as adversity, and I'm just going to accept it for what it is. And when you accept it, then you don't have all this stuff going in your head. You're no longer thinking about, if I had done this, or maybe if I hadn't set off and I didn't go and hit that pothole, maybe my exhaust would be okay. You don't think about all those things, and then you don't think about the future. God, I'm going to have to get a rental car, or God, it's going to cost me a bomb to repair this car. You just live in the moment and be present and accept whatever comes. So it's being that. And I think there's a certain level of being godlike in that situation, to realize that I'm being conscious about everything I do. So instantly, as soon as I feel like there's a sense of compulsion kicking in, be conscious. And that is the first step to transcending nature's way of holding us down. And human beings always want to be free. It's our natural instinct to be liberated and to not be bound or shackled. But then instead of being shackled by iron, we shackle ourselves with gold. We put all this pressure on us. I want this car, I want this and that, and then you shackle yourself with pleasure and gold, and which means you're still shackled, you're still tied down. So let go of those shackles, and I think that's what it is to be liberated, and that's what it is to be living in this pastime, to have your own story, like we talked about in the previous podcast. His story, you have your own story, and dictate how you want to take that story. Allow those situations to happen, but then dictate how you respond in those situations. So, Pastimes, Leela.